Hi, so this is from Manhattan. These are Manhattan SC questions. The residents of the largest town, pay as much as residents pay as much as 4 times the amount. Pay as much as 4 times the prices paid for grocery items by residents of large, most of which enter the town. So this has got to be large. So this is wrong for sure. Uh, pay as pay as much as 4 times the price, which is 4 times. Let's pay as much as 4 times the prices. 4 times the prices. Pay as much as 4 times the price of what residents. Pay as much as 4 times. Pay as much as 4 times. These are all pay. Pay as much as 4 times the price of what pay. Pay as much 4 times what residents of what large Canadian city residents pay. It's 4 times what residents of large Canadian. I think this Canadian city residence is wrong. This is wrong. Okay, by applying optimization techniques commonly used to plan operations, it is possible to determine how much effort ought to be devoted to each of a company's products in order to meet its goal in both the short and long terms. By applying to each of a company in order to meet its goals. A company's managers. I think it's why do I have to say it can be? Yeah, I think this is all just this is just all passive voice. It's irrelevant. I mean, it's a disgusting way of saying it. X's managers. I like X's managers. I like that. It is possible to determine how much effort ought to be devoted. So where is the word manager is not even here. Just can determine how much effort to each of these products in order to meet in both. Can determine how much effort should be dedicated or to each of these products in order to meet the goals in both the what is its because of its mistake. Mary's job was in jeopardy because of its mistake. I think it is possessive. I think this for conciseness. I think this is a company can determine how much effort ought to be dedicated to each of these products, to each of the company's products, in order to meet its short term. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think for conciseness, I think I'll go with B, because I think is singular. Each of the companies, each of these products. Which product? I mean, it sounds strange to say each of these products. I think this conciseness, I think this is okay in each of the company's products. Mary's job is because of its mistake. Porcupines shooting their quills is a misconception. But the quills still pose a serious threat, and it can be difficult to remove them because each one has up to 800 backward-facing garbs that act as grappling hooks after they pierce skin. Porcupines shoot but the quills. Mhm. I think the word "and" does not make sense, and it can be difficult. They pose a serious threat because. But the porcupines do not actually, contrary to popular, do not shoot. Contrary, they do not shoot. Contrary to belief, X do not shoot their prey, even though you are in danger. Even though each quill has up to. I think the word "even though" does not make sense to me. I guess it's okay. That a porcupine. That a porcupine can shoot it with a gun. I think the word "which" is wrong here. X. Contrary to popular belief. Contrary to popular belief. Bush do not do not use guns, even though each gun has up to the power to kill a lot. Even though each, I think even though is okay. Actually, maybe the word even though makes sense actually. Porcupines do not shoot their quills, even though quills. Oh yeah, this actually does make. I think the word even though is actually correct. But the quills still pose a threat. I think the word but by itself is just strange. I think the word but in all of these is strange to me. I would personally go with E, even though. Yeah, so you can forget this, contrary to popular belief. Porcupines do not actually shoot their quills, even though, yeah, even though the word but does not make sense to me. I would go with E, just on meaning of that. Sleeping pills had been showing up with regularity as a factor in traffic arrests, sometimes involving drivers who claim that they have no memory of getting behind. Very nice. When after ingesting the pills, had been. I think that's past perfect. He had been. So I don't think that's right because you need something with the past tense after. Had been. Sleeping pills had been showing up with regular as factors in traffic. Have been, yeah, have been makes sense. It's still true as of today. Have been, as have been showing up in traffic. Have been showing up in traffic arrest. That doesn't even. That's very literally meaning as if when you arrest someone, there is a the sleeping pill is you arrest the sleeping pill. Have been showing up as factors in traffic arrest. Sometimes as a factor, as factors. Sleeping pills. Pills have been showing up as a factors. As if I think maybe as a factor, as sleeping pills. If it was multiple factors, I think they would tell us what the second or third factor is. I think I'll go with C. Many employees in the energy sector must choose between jobs that offer higher pay but requiring long hours but physically higher pay but require taxing labor or relocation to remote or less physically intensive though higher pay or I think this or less higher pay or less intense in larger law. Okay, so these two things have to be parallel, obviously. These two things are what is parallel, what need to be parallel. And this is a modifier to that. This entire thing. So the modifier doesn't have to be parallel to the green. It can have its own, but the blue within itself has to be parallel. So let's look at the greens that offer substantially higher pay or less physically intense, though lower paying jobs. Or less in that offer higher pay or less physically or higher pay or less intense jobs that offer higher pay or less physically intense the lower paying jobs or less physically intense jobs. I think this is or less physically intense, offer higher pay or less. I don't think these two make sense. How can you offer higher pay or less intense jobs? Oh, between X. Oh, actually, between X and Y. Actually, yeah, this. Whoa, 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 whoa. So actually, it's maybe even this between jobs, or it's between jobs that offer higher pay or less physically intense jobs. What is the overall? I think there's three levels of parallelism. Between jobs that offer higher pay between jobs or jobs. It has to be between jobs and jobs. Yeah. Oh. I don't like jobs that offer or modify, or I would prefer jobs that offer or jobs that something offer Y. Between jobs that offer X or jobs that offer Y. Jobs. Yeah. I really like jobs that I really like the parallelism between these two. Yeah. It's between C and D for me. It's between jobs offering substantial, but that pay higher, but requiring longer. That pay higher, but I think C makes more sense. Also, there is no X, Y. There is no end. Sorry, it should be X that offer higher, substantially higher, that pay higher, jobs that pay higher, requiring long hours. I offering jobs that offering pay, green jobs offering pay. That is jobs that require. Yeah, it's missing. This is missing an and or X, Y, or Z. That has it. This is missing. I think this word and is wrong here. I think I will go with C. C. Cancel this. Cancel this. Cancel this. Offer substantially higher pay but require higher pay but require. Taxing requiring long hours but require. Offering pay. I think how it is in C is jobs offering pay, job offering. I think this is one. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I'll go with C, but I'm not sure. Policy makers remain concerned about the prospect of inflation. Although there are few signs of increasing energy prices driving up the cost of other goods so far. Although there are few signs of increasing energy prices driving up the cost. Although there are few signs of increasing energy prices driving up the cost. I guess so. The inflation is relating. Okay, so when energy prices go up, other goods get costlier, and that causes the inflation. So things have not gotten costlier, even though we are concerned about the prospect of inflation. I think A is good. Still remain. Why do you need this? There are as yet few signs. Why do you need this? There are as yet. Jeez, that's unnecessary. Remain concerned about, even though as yet few signs. Yeah, even though you don't need this as yet. Even though there are. Remain concerned about, despite the lack of thus far that increase. Even though there are currently few signs. Still remain concerned, even though there are currently few signs that increase. Drive up. Despite the lack of signs. Despite the lack of signs. despite the lack of signs. So B is wrong, C is wrong. Even though, although there are a few signs of, remain concerned, although there are few signs of increasing. Although there are currently few signs of increasing. I think this changes the meaning. This is saying there are currently few signs that this is saying that the concept of energy prices driving up the cost of other goods does not exist. I think that's what D is trying to say. The concept that increasing energy prices drives up the price of other goods. This concept is not a legit. This concept is not does not have a lot of backing. Say the same things here. Yeah, I think A is saying this is saying that there are few indicators showing that energy prices, a few indicators showing that costs are going up. Okay, according to NS Science Foundation, there were 200,000 female. There were 200,000, so 200K grad students. 42% of the grad. Twice as many as. So I think as much as is wrong. It should be twice as many. Twice as many as 1981, I think was wrong. I mean, as many is correct, but 1981 is wrong. Double a number, double that of 1981 is okay. A number double that of 1981's. Double the figure. There were 200,000. There were 200,000. Double the figure for 1980. Yeah, I'm not double. What is a double? 10 students attended the show, double the figure for it. In 2003, 20 students. There were 20 students. Double. the figure for 1981. Double the figure. I think it makes sense to say double what it was in 1981. A number, there were 20 students. And in 2000 there were 20 students. A number double that of 1981's what? One's number? A number double that of 1981's number? I guess. That doesn't even make sense. What kind of a statement is this? A number double that of 1981's number? And this is C saying double. So I think I'll go with just because double what it was in 19. There were and double that what it was in 1981. I think that makes the most sense to me. Many of today's mathematicians use computers to test cases. Many of today's mathematicians use computers to test cases that are either too time-consuming or involve too many variables to test manually. That's good. That's good. Allowing the expert. So they use computers to test cases, allowing that were impossible. Yeah, allowing. So this is wrong. Allowing the explanation. That's good. Allowing them. Okay, this cube allows the mathematicians. What do you need, anyways? This cube allows the mathematicians to explore. Okay. There are either either X or Y, either too time consuming or involved. This is unnecessary. That's out. That would either take too much time or I would either or involve too many variables. I think either X or Y or involve would either be to this doesn't even make sense, or variables to test. It's not doesn't make sense parallelism wise. Between C and D, that would either take either to would either be to I would either be to or either would involve. Between C and D, I think are these not parallel? Either would either be 2. Sam would either be too late or would arrive. I think I I think this and this are parallel. Yeah. But can't this be parallel too? Either be I either be bad or either would involve. I th- I think in D, Sam would either be X or be Y. I think it should be that. I think given the word would, that doesn't make sense to me. And it's forcing the parallelism in my view with this. So I think I'll go with C. Because of less availability and greater demand for scientific research. Platinum. Remains consistently effective like that of gold. That word, that does not make sense. Like gold. Like that of gold does not make sense to me as well. Because of less, because of decrease. I have less food. Because of less and greater. Yeah, between AC and D, I'm not sure. I think D, because less availability. I think that's an adjective because of less. Because of decrease. I think it's less means I think this shows that it has gone down and increased. Yeah, I think it's decreased and decreased. This nothing has gone down. I think this has always been low. An increased demand for. Yeah, between C and D for research. Not sure. Between C versus D. The AHA reported recently that cardiovascular diseases nearly accounted for 18 million deaths worldwide. Wow. Number forecasted but to increase to more than 23 million annually. A number forecasted by 20. I think it's the where 2030 is placed. Look at that. Yeah, I think forecasted by 2030. That doesn't make sense. Forecasted by 2030 doesn't make sense. And for, yeah, I think the word and does not make sense. Yeah. Nearly account for nearly. Yeah, the word nearly does not make sense. Yeah. Yeah, for nearly 18 million makes sense. So I guess D by present POE. Thank you.